is everybody doing? How are you doing? Give this video a like. Can I like? No, do you know I was about to give my video a like. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with blowing your own trumpet. Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm Dr. Sylvia. It has been a hot minute since I did a live like this, and questions have been piling up. But yes, how are you guys doing this Saturday afternoon? Where are you? Where are you watching from? If you're watching the replay, you're very much welcome. I'm just going to see if I can tackle maybe 5 or 6 questions that have come into the channel in the last few days, because I've just not had the chance. So let's just, get into it. If I don't know, if you put a question in the channel in the last few days and you come across this live, then I'm probably going to address yours. But let's just sort of see. Let's see what we have here. So. Okay, so there's a mixture of comments and questions. Somebody says, I have fibroids that are the size of an orange. What can be done? And the person put that comment on top of the video I did on natural fibroids treatment. Well, I would usually recommend that you go and speak to your doctor about the options. Clearly, on this channel, I have several videos. I think we're probably over, maybe 50 or 60 videos on fibroids treatments. So please check them out. But they're just for providing information and for guidance, maybe answering some of the questions that you might have about fibroids, but they don't replace a conversation with your doctor. So let me just pop in that disclaimer now that we are not providing advice or treatment here, but we just want to have a conversation around what common things might happen with certain health conditions, and questions you can ask your doctor to make sure that you're getting the right treatment. So my answer to that question is what can be done. There are a few things that can be done. They range from medical treatments to surgical options or non-surgical options. It's really important that you're speaking to your doctor who knows your own medical background and who's able to provide the different options and tailor them to your own specific situation, because don't forget, we're all different, okay? So please go ahead and speak to your doctor about this, to the person who sent in that question. But thank you for sending it in. Hi to the people joining in. Thank you so much for clicking on. Give this video a like. We're just discussing health-related questions that have come into the channel over the last few days. So if you are one of those who sent in a question, stay around. It may be that I'm answering your question, or you might find that one of the questions I cover addresses something that's been on your mind. The next person says, Doctor, please, I've had mine for 1 week, but my C-section area is kind of heavy. Please help. Okay. So this was for the video where I was talking about tips for recovering faster from your C-section. So, of course, that video is not meant to go against any medical advice. It is as quickly and as healthily possible to recover from your CS. So there are no shortcuts. Your body has to recover. And sometimes it might be sooner, it might be later. But the most important thing is that you're healing at a very good pace for yourself, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. But this question, I think, is in reference to the scar. It says, they've had this for a week and their C-section area is kind of heavy. I don't know what that means. So I think if you've got concerns about your C-section area, please speak to your doctor, please speak to your midwives so that they can examine, because heaviness might suggest, I don't know, something going on with your scar, some inflammation that might indicate infection. So I think it's a good idea to speak to somebody so they can have a look. That might just be a very first sign that something is not quite right. So please don't disregard it. I would recommend that you go and speak to your clinician. Okay. Hi to those joining in. Thank you so much for clicking on the live. Please don't forget to give the video a like. I would very much appreciate it. We're doing a quick Q&A with me, and of course, if you've not met me before, my name is Dr. Sylvia. I run this channel, and here we talk about all sorts of women's health related issues, sexual health and reproductive health issues, and sometimes I pop on a live just to address a few pressing questions, because it's quicker and easier than sitting down to do them in a published or an edited video. Okay, so we've done 2 questions. Number 3, somebody says in response to a video, the most popular video on this channel, somebody says, and this video is 7 reasons why you have to pay attention to vulval vaginal lumps. Somebody says, I didn't know this is a thing, ladies. And the name doesn't tell you, of course, I know people can use any name, but the name doesn't even tell you who this person could have been. But he says, I didn't know this is a thing, ladies, and they have a shocked expression. Well, now you know. That's all I have to say. Now you know. So if you're a guy and didn't realize that women could experience different types of vulval and vaginal lumps, you definitely have a mom. You may have a sister. You may have a sister and a partner and daughter. These are conditions that could affect women and they can cause significant distress. So if you have one of these and you're just trying to show support, then this information is not a waste. So it is a thing. It is a thing. And it's not just that they can happen for so many different reasons. And this video that I have on the channel goes through 7 of the most common ones. For example, warts or Bartholin cysts, abscesses, cancer, and so on. So it is very well worth watching. Okay, so the next question says, this is in response to how long does it take for fibroids to shrink naturally? This is a question that nobody has a specific answer to. And when we say naturally, we're talking about, for some people who feel they don't want to go down the route of medication or surgery, I want to use different things like castor oil packs or using vitamin D and EGCG supplements. These have shown some evidence that they could help to relieve some symptoms. For the vitamin D and EGCG, there's a study that suggests they could help to reduce the sizes of fibroids. I do have the video on my channel. If you want to see that and see the link, please, and see the study that related to that, please check it out. But somebody says, I was using Vitex. Vitex is another herb that I know people use for supplements. But they said, this is an interesting comment. He says, I was using Vitex. I was okay for the first few days. Then I was getting headaches and feeling like I had the flu, so I stopped. Let me just give this video a like. The reason I wanted to, I've just read this actually. I didn't, go through all this in detail before we started. But I think this is a really good point, and I want to emphasize, because sometimes we think that because something is natural and healthy, it doesn't have any problems, it's safe and so on. And nothing could be further from the truth, because for different reasons. One of them could be, you might develop side effects. These herbs or natural, what do you call them? Natural supplements or natural measures, whether it's plant-based or, whichever form, they can still get into your body to interact with the processes, the chemical, biological, metabolic processes going on in your body. You can't assume that because something is natural, it's not going to harm your body. I mean, think about poisons, for example, natural poisons. They're poisons, even though they're natural. So I think it's important that you don't just assume that somebody says, this natural treatment cured my fibroids. No, don't just take it at face value. First of all, we need to look at what is the evidence that this works. And then the second thing is, if you take that, it could cause problems. There's some people that take so-called natural herb slimming teas and develop complications and side effects to them. So really significant side effects from things affecting the liver, affecting the kidney, and so on. So please be advised. So I really want to salute this person who was using Vitex, and for the first few days, everything seemed to be going on. Then they started to have headaches. The other thing that could happen as well is, not only could you just develop side effects, what if it doesn't agree with any other treatment that you're taking? So that's another reason why you might have problem with it, because it interacts with your other medication. Or it may be that you've sourced them or procured them from somewhere that is really not very well regulated, and so the source is not very reliable, it's not regulated, and so it could actually contain impurities or other things that could cause harm. So what is my point? That the natural measures are not just, no problem associated. First of all, they may not be effective, but second of all, they could also cause harm, and for different reasons. So if you do start having problems, please stop. Do speak to your doctor to give you advice on what else could be done, what other options you could have, and so on. Let me know if you're enjoying this video, guys. If you've got any question relating to any recent videos I've published, feel free to share them. This is a brief live. We're going to be gone pretty soon, and I would appreciate a like and a share if you feel so inclined. Thank you very much. Okay, the next comment says, And that's in response to our video on vulval and vaginal lumps. Says, don't have these issues. The fruit of my womb is blessed. Amen, sister. No problem. I have no issues with that. Let me know if you ever need any help. You're welcome to watch that video. If you ever need any help, please don't forget to check it out, and don't be scared to ask any questions. I'm glad that you're well, and everybody else who had any of those symptoms are also blessed. So I don't think blessings are determined by the absence or presence of these conditions, because they could happen to anyone. Okay. The next comment, oh, this is the video I was sharing. I was looking at, I don't know if you guys watched the video I did on vaginal treatments, vaginal gel. I think there are two I did. This one is the one on Canis Balance BV gel. And I was asking about whether it's really effective. It's an over-the-counter preparation. I think I have it somewhere now, somewhere in my pack. An over-the-counter preparation for treating bacterial vaginosis. And I was analyzing this. Is it really effective? And it's worth watching if you're somebody curious about these things. And somebody here says, Roya444 says, nothing works forever, doctor. Oh, I don't know, Roya. I don't know what to say about that, to be honest with you. Yeah, yes, I appreciate that. I don't even know if you watched the video, if you're just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this, your comments. Let's just skip past. Okay, there's a pretty long one here that I don't know. Let me see what it says at the bottom. What is it that they want me to do? It's a lengthy one. Okay, the question, do cigarettes and cannabis attribute to night sweats? Oh, wow. Okay, let's quickly read this, right? So somebody says, so this is in response to the video we did on menopause. We said, are menopause night sweats getting worse? Okay, so this person says, hi, Dr. Sylvia, my wife, 41. You know, I love it when guys come in and they're asking questions about their partners. Isn't that, you know, that's supportive. Okay, so this guy's, so this person says, my wife, 41, for the past 6 months, started perimenopause. She gets excessive night sweats, changes up to 5 times a night. Thing is, she doesn't do spicy foods or drink alcohol, but it's quite the coffee drinker, smokes cigarettes and cannabis, right? Do cigarettes and cannabis attribute to night sweats as well? So without looking up the literature, just simply going by the fact that, you know, both of these will contain a lot of toxins. It will be heavy in terms of toxin content. I would say yes. Yeah, I would say that could contribute to things that would affect the temperature regulating center in the brain. Already during menopause or perimenopause, that regulation is dysfunctional because of the estrogen hormone imbalance. So if you add in things like cigarettes and cannabis, which contain, if you think about it, contain chemicals and toxins that can affect the brain, and so can go further to worsen that imbalance, then yes, it can contribute to night sweats and hot flushes. He goes on to say, or they go on to say, she's been on meds since childhood. Oh, wow. Antibiotics from 10 to 18 years old and antidepressants, and still on a few medications, taking birth control for the hormone fluctuations, which seem to help her moods, has body pain almost every day. Oh, gosh. Intestinal issues as well, rough BM, so her diet isn't that great. And then guess what? She's also stubborn. How could I try to convince her to try and lessen her choices? Even throughout the night, she'll get up, make a coffee so she can have a smoke. It's the only way she will smoke a cigarette is she has a coffee. So that won't help the sweats as well. I tried to reason with her and tell her she needs to have a better diet, but then I'm told you're just making me feel bad instead of listening. Anyway, I hope this gets to you. Thanks. Oh, bless you. Wow. That is a lot to take on. I mean, I think a lot of things go through my head reading that. You know, you can't make choices for anybody. And I just want to take, yes, I totally agree that we should hold people accountable for their choices. I totally agree with that. But I think when they say you're just making me feel bad instead of listening, and so I would want to play advocate and just ask, have you been listening? I'm not trying to excuse their habits, you know, your partner's habits, but I wonder if you've been listening, because sometimes if you back off, it's not as if they don't know these things, you know. think about it. It's not as if we don't know that, oh, drinking too much alcohol or eating too much processed food or too much, too extra cakes or whatever. It's not as if we don't know it's bad. But sometimes the help we need to make the decision ourselves is somebody just being there and listening. And it may be that it takes a few weeks of doing that and not sort of continuing to nag, quote unquote, at them. I mean, I'm not there. And, I understand this can be difficult, but I just wonder whether, that comment that she makes, instead of making her feel bad, but listen and, stop telling her, do this, because that makes her feel bad and increases the guilt that she's already feeling, but instead be supportive in other ways. And perhaps that could encourage them to change. However, assuming she doesn't know, then yes, I also would be concerned about the coffee and the cannabis and so on. Has she seen her doctor? Is there any other help or support that they could provide to her? Perhaps stop smoking if and when she's ready. There might be some aids that they could provide for her to stop smoking with the support of a counselor, or with stop smoking aids, things that they could use in that sense. So, I don't know. I feel as if I've mangled that question, but there was a lot there. Okay, but thank you for sending it in. I always appreciate those questions. I always feel touched when people send them in and just want you to weigh in on some of the challenges that they're having. Somebody says, I need help here. I don't know why. I don't understand that question. Please speak to your doctor. If you need help, whether it's physical, mental, please do contact somebody in your local area, somebody who can sort of sit down with you, explore your medical background and help you find out what is it you're not feeling right about, because I can't do it from here. Okay, next comment is on, one of the videos we did on Bartholin's glands. Does it cause lower back pain? Not usually. Bartholin's glands, abscesses or cysts. So for those who don't know, the Bartholin's glands are two glands. We're just talking about vulval and vaginal lumps. So if you're still here from when I mentioned that, these are examples of lumps that can develop in the vulva and vaginal area. So these are two glands that are located, usually very tiny. You can hardly not even feel them under normal circumstances, on either side of the inner lips of the vagina, but they can get filled with fluid, so they can become a cyst, and the cyst can get infected. And if it's a severe infection, a serious infection, it can progress to developing into an abscess, which is extremely painful, very uncomfortable. When you can't sit down because you've got this lump like a ball down below, and it's really so painful. And it can progress to that very quickly, and that's not even the end of it. So the treatment for that is usually not just antibiotics. You might need to have it drained by a surgeon. But what makes it worse is that it could come back. And it could come back. I've come across so many women who this is a problem. And the issues are not just, okay, if it comes back, you have to get it drained again. And if it keeps coming back, then you would have a wood catheter put in place and so on. I remember somebody who was so distressed and said to me that she'd spoken to her gynae about, look, we know I've had this so many times. Can we not just do something? Can we not just take it out? Can we not just... So it can be so stressful. The question we have here is, does it cause lower back pain? Not routinely, not usually. And I suppose it depends on whether it is a cyst that you're dealing with or an abscess, because, with an abscess, if you have a temperature, high body temperature can cause general muscle aches, and you could have back pain anyway. So again, it's a bit tricky. I think that's depends on what you're dealing with. And I think if you're having lower back pain enough that causes problem, and you think you have Bartholin's gland problem, please speak to your doctor. Let somebody have a look both at your back and at the gland or the cyst to guide you on what to do next. Next question says, what is this? This is, I want to shrink mine. Somebody help. Okay. This is for fibroid. This is a second... Did we not see? Yeah, okay. This is somebody else commenting on the video, how long it takes for fibroids to shrink naturally. Somebody said, I want to shrink mine, please. Someone help. So Wildflower, please speak to your doctor, okay, so that they can assess you and work out type of fibroids, the number of fibroids, the size of the fibroids to start, and then look at different options available so that you can make a decision as to which option that you'd like to go with. And of course, I recommend going through my fibroids playlist. We have 2 on this channel. Please check them out because we talk about the different types and different treatments and so on. So I hope you catch up with your doctor so that they can look into that for you. All right, so this is the last question we're going to go with today. It's the most recent question on the channel. Somebody says, I'm 19 and today is the first time during my periods that I saw blood in my urine. It was not very dark. I had a bit of irritation sensation and I couldn't hold it at all. I'm really worried about what's happening. I searched it up online and they told me very, very serious diseases. It made me anxious. Dr. Google. Oh dear. Okay, so blood in the urine. So just in case anybody's wondering about this as well, I do have a video where I cover period blood in the urine. It's not unusual that when you're on your periods and you go and pee, you might see blood in the urine, because when you're on your periods, you're releasing fresh blood most of the time from your vagina, and it can mix as the urine passes out. It's not that the blood is getting into your bladder, no. It's just that as you sit down to wee and your bladder opens up, your urethra opens up and releases the urine, the vagina also opens up and then some blood comes through. So that's how the blood in the urine usually appears. So that's the most innocent explanation for that and why you shouldn't panic. However, if you're having pain, burning or stinging when you're passing urine and there's blood in it, whether you're on your period or not, so you shouldn't be passing urine with pain, whether it is stinging as it passes through your vulva or pain in your lower abdomen or pelvis. What else did she say? She said a bit of irritation and she said she couldn't hold it. So that's something else to think about. Why is she not able to control her bladder? Well, so the usual question I would say is, now it's possible it could be an infection. It's possible, so urine infections, urinary tract infections. So I think it's worthwhile going to see a doctor. So if you're watching this, please don't get yourself stressed up by everything you're reading in Google, because there is enough there to get you stressed if you focus on that. Obviously, I don't know you. I cannot specify exactly what or your symptoms are without asking a few more questions. So because we don't have that opportunity, I would recommend you go and see your doctor so they can, hear the full story, ask you a few more questions that will be relevant, see what your medical background is, and of course, provide you with the right advice and the right treatment. But thank you for sending that question in. And if you have concerns about period blood in the urine, please check out that video in the channel. If you just search period blood and AskAwayHealth, you should be able to find it. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me for this impromptu live session. Good to have you with me. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful. Don't forget to keep sending in these questions. I do appreciate them. And very soon I would settle myself and come back and do one of those proper lives where we've got images and we've got time to look at things. But this is what it is. A final disclaimer before I go, remind you that we're not providing health treatments or specific advice, because it's just not possible to do that on this platform. But it is possible to provide you with useful information, help you understand things better, guide you back to your doctor with specific questions to ask about, which is the intention of the channel. So we are done for this live. Thank you so much for joining me. Give this video a like and of course share with a friend, and I will see you again real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.